You want me to go get some?
Good morning and happy Monday. Welcome back to the show.
Is it Mañana Monday, Momentum Builder Monday, Mindset Monday?
Maniac Monday?
Maybe Monday?
Maybe it's Monday? Morrow Monday? Mischievous Monday? Money Monday? The world may never know.
It's what you make of it.
It's like that. It's like that commercial with the bird and the Tootsie Pop. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop?
Good morning, you guys, and welcome to the show.
I have to make the reference, otherwise it makes zero sense. But the world may never know how many licks it takes to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop.
Is that from a commercial or something?
But the owl claims that it's 3.
Okay, backstory. Backstory to all the foreigners.
It's a commercial. You know Tootsie Pops?
I know Tootsie Roll.
Tootsie Pop. With the candy on the outside and then like the Tootsie Roll chocolate on the inside. It's on a stick.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so how many licks does it take to get to the center?
How many?
It was a commercial.
Okay.
And this kid gave it to an owl. He goes, 1, 2, 3. And then he like bites it. And then he says 3.
That's a good commercial. You know what? I was that kid. Like whenever I had a lollipop, I was like,
okay, who are the ones that would literally just like, yes, I'm 12, suck on it until it got to the chocolate part, and who are the kids that would bite that shit off?
I'd bite it off.
Impatient. Instant gratification.
Yeah, I'm like, give me that sugar as fast as I can.
Give me another one. And I finished mine already.
Hence why lollipops weren't my thing. I just went for chocolate. Shit.
That's why you just wanted the inside.
Yeah.
Give me to the chocolate as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Ooh, they're biting it off too. Your kids are impatient.
Yeah, baby. Go get us in the house.
I think Nicole sent you a YouTube you can watch if you want.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, but really, I'm the one that likes to BS first thing in the morning. Sarit's like, let's get down to business. But really, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about this syndrome called the Mañana syndrome. Have you ever heard of it?
I've had so many songs go through my head today.
Should we start with a few housekeeping things?
Should we start with a sing-along? Lick it now, lick it good, lick... who just said... You guys are killing me with the comments, with the suck-its and the lick-its. Okay, so anyways, housekeeping. Yes.
You guys, if you haven't yet signed up for the free web class that we're hosting. So this started as an inspiration from the Raw Transformation. And we're going to close it off only for the Raw Transformation people. But then we're like, you know what? Why just
do that? Why limit it?
Why do that if we have a big mission? So
we're not limited.
So this was inspired by the Raw Transformation for the Raw Transformation, but we figured that we're going to include anybody and everybody who wants to join. Okay? Just so you guys know, spaces are limited, but you need to get your ass registered if you haven't yet already. We're going to be talking about the 4 simple steps to not just get you to your goal weight, but also maintain it for the rest of your life.
Bam.
Hashtag 365, baby. So if you haven't yet registered, better make sure you do it before it's too late. ImproveSolutions.com /body goals. ImproveYouSolutions.com/body goals. And if one of our team members can please drop the link below, that would be lovely.
Drop it like it's hot.
That would be lovely. I want to share with you guys my personal goal. Okay. My goal for this web class is to get 1,000 people signed up. Currently, we're where?
820 something.
Yeah. And it's tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific time. We've got 24 hours plus like 10. We got like 34 hours to accomplish the goal.
My goal is that, for one, I know that everybody who needs to be there is going to be there.
Yeah.
Everybody who needs to be there is going to be there. And everybody who needs to be there and knows that is going to make the time for it. My goal is to give you guys as much as we can within that time frame so that you can walk away feeling like you have steps that you can take if you're going to do it on your own. In that you have, a next action that you can join in on if you still need more help, to kind of cover all the bases. So regardless of where you are, how much help you need or don't need, we're there for you.
Amen. Amen. Okay, awesome. So let's talk about the Mañana syndrome. But first, we'll begin with the question. Because I know that this question is going to call a lot of y'all's asses out. And you know what? I feel completely okay with it because I used to be that person too. Okay. So, how many times...
It's not that webinar registration link, Emily, by the way.
Yeah, and Melanie, you dropped that too. It's ImproveYouSolutions.com/body goals.
Yeah, it's /body goals.
So how many times have you guys, with regards to anything, like, it could be with regards to the gym, could be with regards to getting out of bed, whatever you want it to be, anything that involves you taking some action. You had to do something, you didn't feel like doing it at the moment because you either felt lazy or you either didn't feel like it, or maybe you were scared, or anyways, you didn't want to do it.
Tired, you have something else to do, you're busy.
And then, like, it kept on haunting you. It's like if you didn't want to go to, it's like if you were like, okay, I'm going to go to the gym at 7 a.m. and you didn't go to the gym at 7 a.m. and the entire day you were thinking about how you need to go to the gym and you still yet haven't. And then the entire day happened, and then shit kept piling up on purpose because you didn't go to the gym, and then you...
What do you mean piling up on purpose?
Just like shit kept piling up.
Inevitably.
Yes, not on purpose. Whatever. And then you ended up not making it to the gym. Or you were like, I'm gonna meal prep today, but man, I don't feel like going to the grocery store. And then you got distracted by doing this, but it kept on haunting you the entire day. How many of you guys can relate to that? Raise your hand. I can guarantee you that at least 90% of you guys can relate to that.
I can relate to it.
I think anybody can.
I can relate to it. With little things sometimes too. Like, should I get gas or not right now? The tank's kind of low, but I don't feel like it. I'll do it next time. I'll do it next time. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll start on January 1st. Mañana. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll start on Monday.
Yeah.
Every single person, I think, if you are a living human being, I truly believe we've all done this. We've all done this to one degree or another, but you have to beware of the trap. You have to beware of it becoming a habit. You have to acknowledge that you're doing that and then make a decision logically based off of if I do this or if I don't, what are the pros and cons? If I do it right now. If I don't do it right now, what are the pros? What are the cons? Normally, the pro is convenience immediately on your end. What are the cons? Okay, if you do it, the pro is that, for one, you probably feel really good about yourself because you didn't want to do something and you did it, and that's called #discipline. And the con of you doing it is nothing because you did it. Mm-hmm. So that's how the other day I was like, oh, we should get gas, but I'll do it next time. I did it literally like a few days ago. But I didn't see any cons because it was outweighed based on the circumstances that I was in.
And then we ended up getting gas yesterday.
Yeah, so I made a conscious decision to not on purpose. But a lot of times what I'm saying is it's not bad to put things off. It's bad to unconsciously continue putting off the same thing over and over and over and over again.
Yes.
It's not bad to say, no, I'm not going to do this right now. I'll do it later. It is a trap if you do that chronically.
And something that we always say is that step one with regards to creating change of any sort is to become more aware. Now, the reason why we want to, challenge you to start becoming aware of this behavior is because otherwise you're going to unconsciously keep on doing it. And based off of where you're at right now in relation to your goals, I don't care what your goals are, be it body composition and weight loss goals, be it relational goals, financial goals, familial goals.
Familial?
Family related.
Oh. I didn't know that was a word.
If you're not going to become aware of it and bring it to the forefront of your cortex, what's going to happen is that you're going to keep on repeating the same cycle over and over again, and look how far off you are. So far off you are from where you want to be. So now here's the thing, the pot of gold always keeps moving. Okay, and this is something that we all have to understand, is that regardless of where you're at in your journey, you're not where you want to be, and neither are we. But in order for you to continuously move in a forward trajectory, you have to keep on practicing discipline, and you have to consciously be aware and become more aware. In order to be more successful, you actually just become aware of more areas of opportunity or of more things that you either do or don't do. So that's the power of that. And if you don't start paying attention to it right now, the same action and the same cycle will repeat. And remember this, when it comes to high performance, how you do anything is how you do everything.
I want to note, because we had this debate.
I said when it comes to high performance.
I said I want to note when it comes to high performance.
Yeah.
But on the opposing side of high performance, call it what you want, you will do some things differently than you will do other things.
Yes.
This could be a whole topic in itself. But I'm not going to go on that tangent because it's completely different from this.
Yeah. So, the concept that we're talking about today is called the law of diminishing intent. Okay? And this is what it is.
Okay, you go ahead. Go ahead.
The longer you wait to do something you should do now, the greater the odds that you will never do it. One of these days becomes none of these days. And
can I break these words down? Thank you. Intent is intention or purpose And to diminish means to make or become less. To make less or become less. So the law of diminishing intent means that your intention to do something begins to diminish and slide. How many times you said you were going to do something and then immediately you just start talking yourself out of it? Like within 5 seconds. Should I do this? I don't know. I don't want to. Oh, I'm tired. And like the excuses just start flooding in. I don't have money. This person will think this of me. And it starts to diminish. And I would say with compounding speed. So the longer you wait to do something, the more difficult it becomes to convince yourself to do the thing you knew you should have done originally when you first thought about it.
Yep. And by the way, that is why one of the things that we always say is that when it comes to doing anything, the best time to do it is right now. Simply because of this law. If you don't do it now, the chances of you doing it are going to be never. And also, this is actually what inspired us to turn the live web class tomorrow from a raw transformation only to a community-wide thing. And here's why. Because for one, congratulations for everybody who's in the raw transformation. If you're in the raw transformation, can you do us a favor and drop your favorite emoji? And
if you're not, give them some props. Week 8.
Yeah, so they're coming up on week 8, which is the last week of the transformation. Okay, and something that, we always teach is that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Okay, and it's time for those who are in the raw transformation to learn and to identify what is going, like, how are they going to go about once the raw transformation is over? Okay, because the reality is, you guys, is that this is a journey. You don't just do one thing and then you stop.
So this is the last week of the raw transformation, but not the last week of your transformation.
Exactly. It's the last week of the of the 8-week raw transformation program and the last raw transformation for 2020, as a matter of fact. And, we want to make sure that whoever's in the raw transformation has a plan moving forward. Because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So here's the thing. We're like, man, like what a symbolic day or time all of this is, because they're ending the raw transformation literally at the beginning of December, where everyone has already given up on themselves and is like, you know what, like, I've already given up on myself. 2020 was a really shitty year. I might as well just keep on, fucking myself, and, I'll start on January 1st.
The average people will say that. The average ones who have weight loss goals will say, you know what, this is just, it's this time of year, and just play it off like it's the time of year, with all, the gatherings and the food surrounding and the treats and the obligation to... And
the cookie baking. Just look, there's nothing wrong with being intentional, but this time of year, it's like you see mediocrity at its finest. And something else that we always say is that when it comes to weight loss, it's not about the weight that you lose, but who you become in the process. Like, how are you thinking? How are you implementing it? So the reason why we're like, you know what? It's like everybody in the raw transformation is going to benefit from this web class. But what if we also give the tools to everybody else in the community so that they stop the thinking as, if you're in our community, we want to make sure that you're a freaking high performer and you got your shit together. And we will do whatever it takes to make sure that you are that kind of person. So shame on us if we wait until January 1st to give you some tools that are accessible for anybody in our community. So we're like, you know what? We'll be disservicing them if we don't open this up to the community.
You guys all get to have a running start into 2021.
Yeah.
And and everybody starting on January 1st is going to be choking on your dust.
Yeah.
So, if it were a competition. It's you versus you, but metaphorically speaking, you know what I mean.
Yeah. So, think about as we move on for the rest of the day, like, you know, I want you to start like becoming aware of how many times you're telling yourself, oh, I'm going to do this tomorrow, or I'm going to do this in 5 minutes, or blah, blah, blah. Now, it's one thing if, let's say, like, you're in the middle of an important phone conversation and, like, let's say, like, your assistant comes in and is like, oh, you got to do this and that. It's like, of course, finish one task first. And instead of, like, doing a couple things at a time. However, make sure that whatever you have planned out on your agenda today, stop thinking, just get to action. So many people in this entire like transformation journey as well, it's like, because you have this mentality of just overthinking everything, you end up not doing anything at all. Because you expect your entire life to change in a day. Guess what? It's a daily act.
When was the last time you ever heard of somebody's life changing in a day because of one life can change in an instant. So I've got to phrase this the right way so that it makes sense. But you brushing your teeth one day doesn't make them instantly white. Right?
Or gingivitis free.
Yeah, like
you eating clean one day does not mean that when you step on the scale tomorrow you're gonna drop 20 pounds.
It's time. Small consistent action done over a long period of time.
And I think too that, you know, if you struggle with being overwhelmed, it's probably because you're overthinking things too much. And you're not living life with a sense of urgency. So everything keeps piling up. It's almost like dust. It's like if you don't clean your house on a regular basis, that like shit's gonna pile up everywhere. And how overwhelming is it to clean your house?
I was literally just thinking yesterday as I was cleaning the microwave, it said, good thing this thing is cleaned every week because it makes it so much easier to clean every week. Versus if you wait, I'm not saying y'all need to go clean your microwaves right now, but this is just a real life example that I literally thought about yesterday. Good thing we clean the house every week, because if we didn't, it would take so much longer.
And don't even like take it too far. Like, how about like your dishes? Doing your dishes. Some of you guys who started working with me one-on-one, when you tell me like what your day-to-day life looks like, and then you're like, I do 2 hours of dishes on the weekend. I'm like, no, this is where the problem begins. It's like, it's so like everything that we do is so much mindset. It's like, if you let your dishes pile up throughout the entire week, what's going to happen is that you're going to be going into the weekend overwhelmed. Which means you're going to be taking away from doing small, important things each and every day that are going to make you great.
It's another example of the diminishing intent. The higher the dishes stack, the less you want to do them.
Yes. Amen to that, Tammy Bell. I'm right there with you. You will never see dishes in our sink before we go to bed. Ever.
When we go to bed. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. And by the end of the day, you guys, it all falls under the concept of discipline. Discipline is basically obeying a code of rules. So if you don't have a set of rules to obey, then you always have an excuse to not do it. But it's up to you to set those rules. Just like in every single country, there's a set of rules. There's a consequence. If you don't set rules and give yourself consequence, there's never a sense of urgency. And if you don't think with a sense of urgency, things get drawn out, you get overwhelmed, you get anxious, you probably end up sabotaging yourself because you're so overwhelmed and you don't even know where to start. That used to be me. I would get so overwhelmed to a point where I'm like, Like, I would fucking binge eat on chocolate because I had to clean, like, my house.
Who has avoided doing something and they eat instead?
I used to be it.
Think about it. Okay. Think about it.
Homework.
You gotta
Homework
get
in
something
college.
done. You have to get something done. But something about it is making you not want to do it. Something is, you don't know where to start. You don't know how to start. You don't know, there's something about it you're not going to like, whatever. So you go to the kitchen and you just start eating. Because that makes sense. But look, I've done it. And I would say I've even done it like within the last month. You know, like.
You did it when?
I remember there was something I needed to do. There's a project I was working on and I was like, shit, I'd rather eat. and then I caught myself and I was like, what am I doing? Like I went to grab a handful of nuts or something like that.
Was it the day I found half an open Quest bar in the pantry?
Maybe.
But still, that's not a big deal. I remember when I was in college, like that was like probably like one of my worst phases of my life. But I felt so disconnected from the classes I took, just being honest. And I was like the world's greatest procrastinator. And when it came to doing lab homework, like that shit was so intimidating. It was so intimidating, and I didn't connect with it at all. That I remember I would just like look at, and like the lab notebook looked different. I would just look at it, and I would eat an entire box of cashew cereal.
Cashew Galeen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had protein. Oh,
that's
man.
amazing. I totally did the same thing.
Dude, that's why we tell you guys, if we can, so can you. Like,
everyone has the same problems, different details and a different magnitude, and different abilities to control or not control the problem.
And also, I want to talk about the concept of simplifying. That is the importance of keeping things simple. How many times have you guys had to do something and you're like, I don't understand it. This seems really complicated. So you ended up choosing to avoid doing it. I know for me it happens so many times. And that's why, like, anything that we ever tell you to do, like, we simplify it to a T, you guys. Because simplicity means action. Consistent action over time leads to results.
Good or bad?
Yeah. For every action, there's a reaction. For every inaction, which is the lack of taking action, you're still taking action. It's just an action that's being avoided. There is a reaction.
The action is diversion.
Yeah.
You are choosing to not.
Yeah. Yeah. In action, you're still expending the same amount of energy as you would otherwise. That's why, like, if I don't ever feel like doing something at this point in my life, like, it's a non-negotiable. I get that shit done. And if I don't feel like doing it, I do it, like, immediately. I count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go do it.
Okay, I'm going to give you guys homework. This is going to be amazing. Probably the best homework you've ever been given in your entire life. And it really doesn't require much action except for sitting on your ass and watching the TV. Ellen DeGeneres has a stand-up comedy from a really long time ago, and it's called Here and Now. And because I want to reference it so many times, it would really be great if you all understood the references. So if you have seen it, amazing. If you haven't, she literally does the whole thing on procrastination, but you figure it out in the end. It's amazing. She talks about when she's at a restaurant and they're talking about procrastination, and then the waitress comes up and she goes, I have a problem with procrastination too. And Ellen goes, really? Go get my sandwich.
Oh,
so good.
Yes. So good. So, hey, if you've been procrastinating registering for the webinar because you're like, I don't know what they're going to talk about. I don't know if they're going to call me out. I don't know if it's going to speak to my soul.
I don't know if I'll have time. I don't know if whatever.
Dude, just fucking do it. The best time to do anything is right now. You have an amazing opportunity, so you better freaking take it. And by the way, procrastinators are less likely to ever even acknowledge opportunity because they're too stuck in their own way of
when you say
how, blah, blah. Like, it doesn't matter. Just like, take action.
Okay, you say procrastinators as though like that is a person. Like, I would say what defines you as a... Only you can define your character, first of all.
I will tell you
when we
what's
say
a procrastinator.
Procrastinators are people who chronically procrastinate on
people
everything.
Who habitually put things off until last minute.
Yes. Great way
and
to
then
put it.
they end up living their life in a rush. They're always rushing. Like when they have to leave the house in the morning, it's like elephants just like walked into the house.
Hey, why are you shaking the camera?
Just
there was an earthquake.
I call it procrastinator's mindset. It's like you're never prepared. You're always fucking late. There's always something to blame.
Then you're like stressed because
you're
like
always stressed.
Out of time.
You're always stressed. There's always something. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do about it? So look, it's a mindset. Wherever you go, there you are. Every day starts and ends with you guys.
You got this.
And to be honest, like this is the time of year where like mediocrity is at its finest. Mediocrity is in fact being celebrated. Everybody in the office is eating like a piece of shit and everybody's celebrating about it. Like
and encouraging it.
The day's short and it's cold. Dude, it's freaking cold in Cali. I can only imagine what life is like in like Minnesota, Michigan, or in Canada. Like props to you guys for doing it because I'm like over here in front of my heater.
Which we learned that Coach Lauren counts how many times we touch that thing. I believe today's episode has been 2 and I did it both times.
Yeah, but like there's also a greater resistance to work out because things are uncomfortable. But the beauty of life is that if there is a will, there is a way. So as we're heading into December, that starts tomorrow, and as we're heading into this week, and as we're heading into literally the most mediocre month of the year, we challenge you to rise above that, and we challenge you to take action. And if you're like, okay, where do I start? I
would say mediocre in a sense of productivity.
Yes.
Right, for yourself, for people's businesses. Also, they like, people they're busy, and so nobody wants to work on certain days. And yes, like we have our time too, but it happens to the extreme during this month, all around.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with spending valuable time with your family, but there's no need to draw out like your life's responsibilities because of a Christmas tree.
Or wait until January 1st.
So, how do you go about, starting to work on it? For one, understand that the best time to do anything is right now. It doesn't matter, like, the logistics don't matter. And I'm telling you this from my own personal experience in life, that when there's a will, the universe will always find a way to make shit happen for you.
If you're committed.
If you're committed. So all you have to do is just commit. Okay? So first you have to decide that you're going to crush December, and then you have to commit. And you can commit all day, but really what shows that somebody is committed or not is the action that follows the commitment. And that happens on a daily basis. You got to recommit on a daily basis, by the way. So then you have to get clear on, okay, what is on the agenda? What do you have to do to move forward each and every day? And don't think about it. Just freaking do it. And if you're feeling this resistance and that voice in your head, it's telling you, man, but the bed is so warm and blah, blah, blah. Dude, we felt it this morning. It's really freaking cold. And as soon as we woke up, we turned on the heater.
I wanted to put my socks straight up on my feet.
But just count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's going to feel uncomfortable for a second, but you're going to be so grateful by the end of the day, because you know what? There's no better feeling than ending the day at the end of the day knowing that you did all that you were supposed to do and you gave it your all.
That you had intended on doing. I want to talk about the word commit, because I looked it up. I said, okay, great. Let me give them some action steps. What does it mean to commit? What does the word commit actually mean? And I think I have no idea why the word penetrate is in this, but hashtag I'm 12. There's 2 definitions. And the first one is to carry out or penetrate. We're going to go with the second one in this context, which is to pledge or bind to a certain course or policy. To bind yourself, legit. You seen the railroad tracks when somebody's strapped to them like, I can't get out. You committing means you give yourself no way out. You commit, and then magically the how-to will find you. Yeah. But you have to commit to it. You have to bind yourself to a certain action that you're going to take with the desire of a certain result you want to get.
Yeah. So get clear on the things that you have to do in order to have what you will call like an accomplished day. It looks different for everybody. And just carry it out. By the end of the day, whether you do or whether you don't, it's going to impact you. But it's up to you to choose, okay, do you want it to positively impact you or negatively impact you? Now, here's the thing. The Mañana people are more comfortable and cozy in the moment, but they're uncomfortable for the rest of their lives. The action takers, the committed ones who persistently take action, you are dealing with you're dealing with more discomfort at the moment, but over a lifespan, you're receiving so much more peace and positive results, whatever it is that you're working towards. So by the end of the day, it really is your choice. Do you choose to be slightly more uncomfortable in the moment for the sake of the greater good, for the sake of living a better life? Or do you choose to be very cozy and comfortable right now and keep on suffering for the rest of your life? And by the way, I think in the 21st century, now more than ever, this just way of thinking, like just being cozy, that you are enough. All of you guys are enough, but all of you guys deserve to be better. And
Amen.
And to live better.
Amen.
You are enough already, but be freaking better.
Yeah,
don't just settle.
Don't let I am enough be an excuse for you to not be more.
Yes.
Because I will tell you, as human beings, when we are reaching for something higher, something better, something more, we find fulfillment. Mm-hmm. When we are accepting and being okay with I am enough, it's not a bad statement. But I am enough is like an excuse or a justification to not put in effort to be better.
Amen.
But that will also lead to depression.
Yes.
Because you're not working towards anything. You're just, what's the purpose, right? That is like the thought that went through my mind when I was depressed was like, what's the point? What's the purpose? You have to give yourself one. And to be better gives you something to reach for, gives you a purpose. So the next time you are about to put something off, maybe it's today, something tiny, a phone call you need to make or an appointment you need to schedule or something, and you're just putting it off, I want you to commit yourself, bind yourself to getting it done. And then within 5 seconds, start taking some kind of action towards accomplishing that. Mm-hmm. It's just momentum. Taking the first step, getting the first in motion builds momentum, and then the solutions start to flood in. It's a miracle.
And I want to add something from my own personal experience. Once you've been consistent, I'm not saying for a couple of weeks or for a couple of months. I mean, if you've been consistent for a couple of weeks and a couple of months, I applaud you because you've already generated momentum.
It's the hardest part.
Yes. But, and you probably already feel so much more at peace, just like motivated. This is how people become motivated, through momentum. Mm-hmm. It's not something that you receive, you create it. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, for example, Stacey K. Like, I guarantee you, because she's been so consistent for the last couple of months, that everything in her life has gone better. And that she's so much more happier and at peace. Because she started generating momentum. Is she where she wants to be? Hell no. Is she settled? Hell no. But when you
we can say that about a ton of people in the inner circle.
Absolutely. Too. But you know, you've already created the momentum, so like doing the right thing every day doesn't feel like a fucking struggle.
It doesn't
like,
feel like
at the beginning it could feel like a struggle, and if it does, that's okay. That's why you need the support of other people to like give you positive reinforcement when you're generating momentum. Generating momentum is literally the hardest thing. Mm-hmm. Okay? But as somebody who has generated momentum and has rolled with it for years, for me, the scariest thing would be to just settle. Because I know, seeing things from this set of lens and also having experienced life from the other set of lens, I will do everything that I can in my power today and every single day to continue that momentum. Because the slight discomfort of taking action right now feels so much more comfortable than the continuous comfort of inaction. That shit is scary. That leads to a depressing, anxious life full of self-sabotage. And this is speaking from my own life experience.
And comfortable is not really comfortable if we're being honest.
No, it's not.
Being comfortable means to be comfortable in a moment. But being comfortable in the moment, like Sarit was talking about, makes you more uncomfortable long term.
Yeah,
for sure. I'm done. I don't have any more mics to drop.
Yeah, I don't either. Emma Ferguson, all the way from the UK. Good afternoon, ma'am. Okay, you guys, but we really hope that, you gained value from today's conversation. We wish you a week full of momentum building. Check this out. It don't matter where you're at in your journey. If you want to get better, you need to join us tomorrow for the web class. And by the way, feel free to share it with anybody in your life. The more people we get to spread our message to, the better. Because if you guys haven't heard us yet, say this. We're on a mission
to transform the
lives of millions through the same movement, nutrition, lifestyle, and financial habits that have transformed ours. We want to transform yours, your sisters, your aunts, your cousins, and your dogs. Because when you're a happier person, your dog freaking feels that shit. And life just gets better. So if you haven't already registered for the live web class, just go to improveyousolutions.com/body goals. improveyousolutions.com/body goals. It is tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific time.
You can also check your email. If you haven't gotten an email, look in your spam or your trash folders. And if you find our email in there, drag it into your inbox so that the important ones don't end up there anymore.
Nice elevator pitch. It's the truth, though. All right, you guys. Well, that being said, we are wishing you a successful week ahead. We will see you tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. sharp.
For Q&A.
Q&A day tomorrow. any questions that you've got, thank you so much, Ashley, and thank you, Stacy. If any questions that you have, we want to answer them. There is a form in the announcements
section of this page. If you say see more and you scroll a little ways, you will find the link to fill out the form. It's super quick, and that is where we get the questions from. So if you have a question, ask it, and maybe we will answer it tomorrow.
All right, you guys. That being said, have a beautiful day, and we will see you mañana.
Bye.